Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at how do you measure width of the web with just one sensor. We have some videos in our website about this, but in this video we're going to look at a few different things. One is the teaching procedure. There is a small teaching procedure that we need to do whenever we are doing a width measurement. And then we're also going to look at different output options that we have from this. What we have is a sensor that is connected to our SCU5 controller. And the controller is showing the width of the web, and we'll go over how we set these up and also get the output from the controller. First and foremost, depending upon the application, in this case we are looking at width of a web with one sensor, so we need to make sure that we have those set properly. Go into the tools, the power user, sensor 2 is the one that we are looking at, and that one is set to center mode. If we use one sensor and we need to look at both edges of the web, center mode is the way to. In the following videos we'll talk about two sensors and how do we use two sensors for width measurement. But with one sensor we need to have the sensor set up in center mode, and then we go in and make sure the image is looking good. This screen just provides us a real-time preview of what the sensor sees, and it allows us to set some of the parameters for the image capture. One of the key things for width measurement is that the web needs to be stable. So in this case, web is supported between two rollers so that the plane of the web doesn't change, and we want to make sure that the plane of the web doesn't change because this is essentially a camera. When the web moves farther or closer, like what I'm showing right now, it will change the width measurement just because of the fact that the image is going closer or farther away, or the image is in focus or it loses focus, and that is not ideal for us. And as you can see, if I have the web move farther and closer, you can see that the image is changing. We don't want that image to change. Ideally, we want to have a solid image like that. This is a good image, and this is not an ideal image. Anytime we do width measurement, we need to make sure that the plane of the web is stable. The best way to do that is to install the sensor between two fixed rollers. That's what we have in the setup here, and then that way we can take care of that. That's the first thing for the width measurement application, is that we don't want to measure the width of the at the exit of the web guide, because at the exit of a web guide, the corrective action of the web guide is going to change the plane of the web, and we can measure the width, but that's not going to be accurate to 5/1000ths of an inch like what our sensor can do. That's the first and foremost thing that we want to do. And if we go into the controller, and the main thing that we want to set in this screen for width measurement is set the brightness so that we have a pretty solid image. Make sure that the plane of the web is stable. And we also want to make sure that the brightness is frozen for width measurement. And the main reason for that is when you set it in automatic brightness, I'll just show you, it kind of picks up interesting features. The algorithm that is used to do that is not only looking for a certain image, but also looking for certain things within the image. And that's not ideal for us. Ideally, the easiest way for us to do it is thread the web, have some tension, put it in automatic brightness, freeze the brightness, and increase the brightness just a little bit so that you don't see that any more lines in between. So you want to see a solid image like that, and that's what we want to do. Once we have this set up like this, now we can go into the analog output mode to make sure that the analog output is in width measurement, and we can go in. Once that is done, we have the web stabilized, we have the brightness set to a certain value, we have made sure that the analog mode is in width. Now we are ready to teach, and that can be done in the operator menu. So we go into operator and go into the width. So the main reason why we need to teach the controller for the right width is because we might have set the plane of the web at any arbitrary location. We might have changed the brightness to any arbitrary brightness. All of these affects the accuracy of the width measurement. And anytime we change any of those settings, we do need to teach the controller for the width. and that way we are fixing all the parameters and making sure that the measurement that we are getting is the right measurement. In this case, I'm going to go in to teach the sensor or the controller for the right measurement. Ideally we want to measure the width of the material, and whatever that value is, we're going to put it into the nominal width. In my case right now, I think this is about 65 millimeters. So I'm going to set it to 65 millimeters right there, and it's approximately 65 millimeters. And we're ready to teach. All that we need to do to teach the controller is that we're going to press this 1 button and give it a few seconds and then press accept. What it does is that the controller is going to take that picture, compute the width of the web it sees, and however long you're waiting, it's going to take an average of those measurements. And then once that is done, and once you press accept, it's going to compare those average and what the nominal width is, and it's going to create an offset, or basically a calibration, and that's how we know what the right width is. And from now on, that's going to be the width output. As long as the settings don't change, this is a one-time procedure. You don't have to come back here and do it every single time. That's about it. So now the sensor is calibrated for the required width, and if we have the web width change a little bit, you can see that effect there on the controller output. So if you have the width change, let's say I introduce something here, and you can see that the measurement is providing the output it is providing. So that's as simple as it is to set up the system for width measurement with a single sensor. Like I said, the key thing for width measurement is that we need to have the web stable. The web can be at a certain distance, anywhere from 1/4 inch to maybe 1/2 inch, but while the machine is running, we don't want that distance to change at all, and that's because of the focus thing that I mentioned. One other thing, right now all the units are in millimeters. If you want to change the units on these, you can go into the tools icon, operator, display, and then change that to inches. So you should be now able to see the values in inches, and then when you teach the web, again all of these values are again in inches. That's for teaching the system for one sensor. One other thing that we can look at is the output that is displayed here. That's the width of the web. There are some applications in which we don't really care about the width of the web. We want to see how much is the web width different from its nominal width, and that's pretty easy for us to do. All we need to do is go into the tools icon and then press the operator width, and then the output type, instead of saying absolute, we're going to make it as error. And now if you go back to the home screen, this is displaying the error in the measurement. This is basically 15 thousandths of an inch, and again if you want to look at that in millimeters, that's about 0.381 millimeters. So you can either look at the actual width, or you can look at the absolute width with this system. Anyway, please subscribe to our channel and take a look at other videos that we have on how to use our products and how it can benefit your application. Thanks.